Hey, Damascus Road Church, it's Shannon. It's Palm Sunday, which means that next week is Easter. And we're going to have to celebrate Easter a little bit differently than we ever have before. We're not going to be able to gather together in person. We won't be able to have large extended family dinners. But we do get to celebrate. We do have Jesus. We will be able to pull together. Because of technology, we'll be able to meet together all from our own living rooms. So grab some tea, grab some coffee, get your family together, and log into the video call. We'll send information about how you can do that this week. And here's our plan. We'll have different houses each lead a song, and we'll have some houses leading a reading. I'll share some encouragement coming out of the Bible about Jesus and his resurrection and now the life that he offers. And we'll be able to celebrate and connect together. I'm so looking forward to being able to see everybody's faces and hear your voices and connect together. It's going to be a great celebration. I'm really looking forward to that. So plan on that next Sunday, Easter Sunday at 10 a.m. I'll see you there. Now, let's jump into John 2. Jesus attends a wedding with some of his disciples. It says they were invited to the wedding, and it also says that his mother, Mary, was there too. Now, weddings in Jesus' day were bigger than in our day. They were bigger celebrations, often going for multiple days on end. And it was the young couple who was responsible for providing everything for the guests, from the food to the wine. And if you ran out of wine, if you ran out of the supplies for the guests, that was a great disgrace. That was a huge embarrassment, and you would feel a ton of shame. You don't run out of supplies for your guests. At some point, they realized they had. I don't know if Jesus and his followers had added more numbers, or the guest list blew up all of a sudden. They found themselves unprepared and the wine had run out. They quite literally had this experience of feeling empty. Now, some people think that Mary was there helping with the wedding celebration. Like she was a friend of the family or maybe an extended family member, and she was there helping them put this celebration on. And she recognizes the problem, and she walks up to Jesus and she asks for his help. Actually, it doesn't record a question, just a statement. She walks up to him and she says, "They have no more wine." And he looks at his mother and he says, what sounds like, "I'm not going to help." He says, "My time has not yet come." And however that conversation went, she has enough that she turns to the servants and she says, "Do whatever he tells you to do." So they go to Jesus and he tells them, he notices 6 jars, really large jars that were set for ceremonial hand washing. They hold 20 to 30 gallons each. And he tells the servants, "Go and fill these jars up to the brim, all the way up, fill them up with water." And after they've done that, he tells them, "Now take this to the master of ceremonies, let him try it and serve this to the guests." And they do it. And that's when the emptiness ends. The master of ceremonies, his response is, "Wow, that's amazing." He stops everything for a moment and he says, "Hold on. Usually at a wedding, they bring out the best wine first, and then after a while, when everybody's feeling relaxed and won't notice the difference, they bring out just the filler, a cheap wine, so that the ceremony can continue. You guys have done something completely different. You saved the best for last. This is the choice wine. This is the best wine. You didn't have to do this, but wow, this is incredible." And very few people know what actually happened. Jesus and his mom and the servants, they all know what was going on. And crisis avoided, and the party continues. Now, I tell you what, we often skim by this miracle of Jesus because there are way cooler and more amazing miracles that are coming. But if we slow down, we see just how amazing and heartfelt this one really is. There are 2 things that I think we can look at this miracle to realize how amazing Jesus is. First, it's a miracle of compassion that covers over shame. They had run out of wine, and their mistake was about to be seen by everyone. Jesus provides for them a way that covers over their embarrassment. It covers over their shame. In providing wine for their wedding, he fills them up where they were empty. I find that amazing. And the second thing is, he does it with abundance. Now, this is going to take a little bit of speculative math, but what's the value of Jesus' wedding gift to this family? His gift is wine, and it's not just wine. We're told it's choice wine. It's the best. So I looked up Wine Spectator's list of top 10 wines of 2019, and here's what I find. The lowest price among the 10 best bottles of wine of 2019 was $36. That's really low in the list. The highest bottle of wine was $176. The average cost of one of the 10 best bottles of wine last year was $108.50. But Jesus didn't just give them a bottle of wine. He gave them 6 jugs of 20 to 30 gallons each. So let's run some numbers. Taking all the lowest numbers, if Jesus gave wine equivalent to $36 a bottle, and each jug contained only 20 gallons, that's 600 bottles of wine for a grand total in today's value of about $21,600. That's amazing. But those are the lowest numbers. If we ran average numbers, if we take the average bottle of wine at $108.50 per bottle among top 10 bottles of wine, and if we say they weren't 20 gallons per jug, they were more like 25, which is average, that's 750 bottles with a grand total value of around $81,375. And then the high numbers, if Jesus gave wine valued at $176 per bottle, and if the jugs contained 30 gallons, that's $900, 900 bottles of wine. And the grand total value of that gift is $158,400. That's how you show up with an amazing wedding gift. So not only does he fill their emptiness and cover their shame, he does it with an out of this world abundance. Think about that for us today. There are a lot of times where we feel empty. Often in our emptiness, we reach for the cheap wine or a cheap substitute, a cheap filler that we think will satisfy our thirst. We spend hours binging and buying things that are never really satisfying. Jenny Allen, in her book, Nothing to Prove, says it's like Jesus is saying, you know your cheap wine runs out every single time, doesn't it? Have you noticed this? It keeps running out and it doesn't even taste good, and yet you keep drinking it. I'll tell you what, you're tired, you're weary. I'm going to give you something that will never run out, something that will never quit satisfying you. In fact, in comparison to the cheap wine you've been drinking, it will be the greatest thing you've ever tasted. Do you want that? Yes. Yes. Right now, if you're feeling cooped up or isolated or empty, and you are thirsting for more, and turn to the one who showed up at the wedding and gave abundantly. Go to the source and find not just a cheap filler, but one who can really fill you. Spend time with Jesus instead of running to other distractions. And if you're feeling embarrassed or ashamed and you're carrying that, go to the one who covered their shame, who covered their embarrassment. You find that same gift today. Go to the source. Read through the Gospel of John. Spend some time in prayer, not out of a religious duty, but as a way to invite Jesus to give you what only he can. Let him fill you. And just like the wedding, you can go from empty to overflowing. Thank you, Jesus. Love you guys. I can't wait to see you soon. Oh, and one more thing. Check out The Chosen. It's a new video series on the life of Jesus. It's running its own app. You can get it for free. You can watch it for free. You can pay it forward and give viewing to other people. But it is so rich. And I think if you watch it, you'll find yourself more deeply desiring and deeply loving Jesus. That's it for now. See you soon.